record. Wonderful. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are logging in from around the world. We're super excited to have you joining with us for the first ever Introduction to Coaching event happening in Canada. My name is Reem, and I'm logging in live from Montreal. And we will be your host for this evening tonight, myself and my partner, Laris, who you will see her coming up later on in the Q&A and the chat. Today is going to be very exceptional for us because not only are we going to have the first ever Introduction to Coaching event, but we're also getting the chance to get to know more about coaching, get to know more about the purpose of coaching, and also by the one and only Gerard O'Donovan, who's going to be introduced in a few. Before we start off, I saw before our recording started that Gerard was asking around, where are you guys coming from? But I would love for you to drop us in the chat right now. Where are you coming from? How did you get in touch with us? And what did you have for breakfast this morning? And you're going to ask me, why are you asking about that? Because we believe that how you start your day is how you set the intention for the day. So go ahead, drop us in the chat. How did you start your day today? Tell me. I personally had a very small breakfast with banana pudding and a very small muffin. So that was my breakfast for today. How about you? Drop me in the chat. Where are you logging in from? And how did you start your day for today? I see some few people who are joining in. Welcome, everyone. Drop us in the chat. Where are you logging from? What brought you here today? We already got to know a bit more of you. We have people coming in from all around the world. Someone said they had a manouche zatar, which is a Lebanese delicacy. Thank you very much for that, Ellen. Hello from Bulgaria, Beirut. We have people coming in from Montreal. We have people all around from Canada, Ontario. Amazing. We also have people from all around Europe today. I noticed that. And I just noticed that we also have people from India. Welcome. Boiled eggs, yes, had them in Bucharest, amazing. Logging in from Montreal, fed the baby and had coffee. That's a smart move, having coffee before joining in today because you will need the energy for today. Sophia, chocolate muffin, yum. Woke up at 8 a.m. and went outside with my partner and had breakfast. That's wonderful. So I can see in the chat, everyone is now engaging and sharing with us how they started your day. Now, how about I tell you, instead of just starting your day, you can actually start your life. And it starts with the event today. With this event, you will get the opportunity to start a new life with coaching. Whether or not you do have a background in coaching, this is going to be the moment that you're going to start a new life with us. Welcome to your new home. And in this home, we have a few home rules. And I would like to share with you these rules before we start off with our presentation of our masterclass. First of all, as you noticed, this meeting is going to be recorded. So you will get the chance to see the recording later on after you have signed up for this too. Second, if you would like to share your thoughts, please speak up. At any moment, you can share in the chat any questions that come to your mind. We will be taking in questions during the time that Gerard will be speaking, as well as don't be afraid to react. You can use the reaction buttons on Zoom, such as the one that I just used right now, or you can also raise your hand and come up to ask questions. Second, please make sure that you are always on mute unless you choose to speak up and you are called up on the screen. Finally, we would love to see your faces. It doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas, doesn't matter where are you right now. We want to see your beautiful faces because this is going to be a human-to-human interaction happening here. Most importantly, please have fun because what is life? What is the beginning of life without actually having some fun? So I encourage you all, grab your pen and papers, write down whatever questions and notes you might have to your mind, and go ahead and show us your beautiful faces. Allow me now to introduce our keynote speaker for today's masterclass, who has not only taken the time to come to here and share with us his experience, but also is, in my opinion, an encyclopedia of knowledge that you're going to gain from today. Gerard O'Donovan is logging in today from Weymouth, Dorset. I hope that I spelled that correctly, in Southern England. He is known for founding Noble Manhattan Coaching, which is one of the largest and most successful coaching training organizations in the world, operating in more than 33 countries. And he will share with you more details about this at the time. Gerard is also the author of a couple of books, such as A Coach's Story and Coaching with Confidence. I remember the first time that I personally met Gerard in person before COVID, he gave me the book A Coach's Story, and it actually changed my life. And from that onwards, it was my starting point towards changing my life with coaching. Gerard also founded the Alpha Group, Westminster Insurance, and many more similar organizations. If you've ever heard of the International Coaching News, well, guess what? Gerard also founded that. So I encourage you all to enroll for that too. We'll be dropping in the chat box a few links that you can use to enroll with these news and coaching reports. Gerard has appeared many times in BBC, Fox News, Romanian television, the Irish Times, and many, many more. So you can see what I mean when I say that we have someone who has so much knowledge and background that it's such a pleasure to have him with us today. I'll encourage you all really to engage when Gerard's going to come up on screen. I know you're all excited for him, so allow me to welcome him with a big round of applause. Go ahead, unmute yourself, whatever you'd like to feel to introduce him, and help me welcome Gerard O'Donovan with us on screen.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you so much, Reem. I've no idea how to live up to that. So welcome all of you, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to spend time with you. And I want to thank you, and I do mean this. I mean it very sincerely. I want to thank you for giving us the greatest gift you have, which is your time and being with us today. So the purpose of today, we call it an introduction to coaching. We sometimes call it Is Coaching for You? But the purpose is to give you a really good understanding, an intellectual understanding, and an emotional understanding of what coaching is. What it is, how it works, what does a coach do, how do they do it, how do they earn their money, how do they engage with clients, and of course, what is coaching? And how does coaching differ from counseling, therapy, training, consulting, and so on? So I will cover all of that. Time-wise, probably just under 2 hours, give or take 5 minutes either way, especially with questions. Please feel free, as Reem said, to ask any questions at all at any time. You can either do that by putting your hand up, the little icon on Zoom, and Reem will keep an eye out for that, or by typing it in the chat, and Reem will read those and let me know if I need to respond to a particular question. So before we begin, I want to, if it's okay with you, I want to take 5 minutes and give you an overview of Noble Manhattan Coaching, because we are very, very different. Now, some interesting facts. I'm going to be giving you a lot of facts today, and I'll tell you where you can go and get them and verify them. There is an organization called PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. They're all over the world. I'm sure you've heard of them. They do an annual survey on coaching, have done for many years, produced every January, February. You can go to their main American website and you can download the survey. It's about 150 pages. So some of the things I will quote are from that. Today in the world, there are approximately 900 coach training companies. So our organization, Noble Manhattan Coaching, we are one of those 900. We are, in fact, in the top 3 in terms of geographical size, length of establishment, and so on. This year is our, I think it's our 20th year. So we are a specialist in training men and women to be magnificent coaches. We have trained over 25,000 people, and we currently train people in 8 languages. We train people in Polish, Turkish, Romanian, Bulgarian, Hungarian, Spanish, Arabic, Serbo-Croat, and others, Turkish. And we're now working on Russian, so we'll be training in 9 languages very, very shortly. But we're very different. And I want to take 5 minutes of your time, ladies and gentlemen, and show you my screen. I want to show you some websites. Noble Manhattan, if you think of us as being in the center, and I'm not sure if you can see me on camera, for those of you who haven't used Zoom much, in the top right-hand corner, where it says view, you have an option, gallery or speaker. Gallery will show you everyone the same. Speaker, whoever is speaking, they appear a little bit bigger. It's up to you. So if you think of Noble Manhattan Coaching in the middle, we are a specialist coach training company in over 30 countries, delivering multiple training courses in multiple languages. Roundabout, we have created a number of other divisions, and I want to share that with you. And the reason is simple. You see, coaches are lovely people. They're warm people, they are caring people, they are compassionate people. But sometimes they are not always the best people at going out and getting clients and building their business. So, as well as training people to be magnificent coaches, we put just as much effort into helping those students and coaches to build, grow, expand, and develop their coaching business. So we put equal weight onto that. And I want to show you my screen, and I'm going to show you some of these initiatives. So you should at this moment be viewing my browser, and I'm hoping that you can see, yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up. So this particular website I'm showing you here, this is just the main company website, Noble Manhattan Coaching. This is our magazine, the International Coaching News. We set this up about 5 years ago. It is now the biggest magazine in the coaching world. We allow all of our students and coaches completely free of charge, to write articles or case studies for the magazine. We will publish those free of charge, and it helps that student or coach to raise their brand, their image, their profile, and become known worldwide. We have won awards for the best magazine in the coaching world, and it goes out to over 38,000 people on a regular basis. How much? Free. We allow our people to write for it free, and we give the magazine away for free. Yet we employ editors, graphics designers, coders, programmers, and so on. We then own coaching support. And coaching support is where we provide physical meetings all over the world. Regular physical meetings where our students and coaches can come together one evening every month. We deliver lectures, we deliver seminars, there's networking, there's masterminds, people get together, lots of coffee, and we provide a home that people can come to one evening every month. And if you look at the support groups, they're from the USA, North America, Australia, Middle East, Europe. Let's just look at the Middle East. In the Middle East, we have them in Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, UAE, Saudi. Let's just look at Lebanon, in Beirut. And every coaching support group is run by someone we call president. And here in Beirut, the president is Pauline, a magnificent lady, wonderful lady, Pauline, and a team of 6 officers. So we run all of those all over the world. How much do we charge? 0, free. We then provide a register. We own an initiative called coachfinder.com. Perfect name. This is to allow customers, in our world we call them coachees, but I'll call them clients. We allow clients to be able to find our coaches. And our coaches can set up a record here. And customers can search by type of coaching. So look, life coaching, career coaching, goal coaching, IT coaching, spiritual coaching, publishing coaching, corporate mentoring, and so on. Or the customer can search by map, looking at where we have people all over the world. You can see, there they are, thousands and thousands of coaches all over the world. Or the client can search by the directory of coaches. And every one of our coaches can have a beautiful directory and their resume and photos and videos and audios. How much do we charge? 0. This is probably a good time for me to mention that we are the only coach training company on the planet to do all of this. The only one. We then own Noble Coaches. Now, this is very interesting. Noble Coaches is a division where we actually go out and get work for our people. We go and we approach large multinational or big national companies. We negotiate a coaching contract, executive coaching, team coaching, and the like. And then we give that work to some of the people that have trained with us. And we split the revenue with them 50-50. Here are some of our clients. And it just takes a second for the open up on the internet. Some of these are all over the world. The AA, Airbus, big European manufacturer, Bank Commercial Romania, Coca-Cola, that was in India, a place called Gurgaon, just outside Delhi, Citibank, Nikkei, Lot Airlines, Pepsi-Cola in America, you might have heard of Pepsi-Cola, Raiffeisen Bank, Santander, Siemens, big manufacturing company, and so on. And in fact, I want to share a contract with you that's literally 1 day old. This is the proposal that was sent yesterday. So I'm scrolling down. It's a 10-page proposal for a huge council in the United Kingdom, a metropolitan council, Hertfordshire. This is a typical proposal. We include videos. That's Delilah, our managing director for that division. And I'm just going to scroll. I want to show you, get to the income bit. Showing all of the coaches. And the quote for this program is £22,000. I'm hoping you can all see that. And when we get that, we will be giving that to 1 or 2 of our existing coaches for them to deliver and sharing the revenue with them. We are the only coach training company in the world that actually goes out and finds work for our people. We own coaching tools, which is where we will provide everything our people need to build their business. Websites, social media, blog sites, SEO, all of that. We own a radio station. We own Coach Radio International. We broadcast in multiple languages. Oh, lost it there for a second. Sorry. Right, sorry, there we go. Coach Radio International. And we allow all of our people.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talk Money Show, the show where we talk all about money.
This is Agnesia. She's from South Africa. We allow all of our students to have their own monthly radio show in their own language. And we've done a deal with a company you might not have heard of called iTunes. Who's heard of iTunes? Yeah. And all of our shows appear on iTunes and stay there forever. How much do we charge our students? 0. Oh, don't know what that is. We will set up Get Coaching leads. We will help our students to develop leads for clients. And we own the Alpha Group, where we will show people how to work with business owners. And finally, we own a division called Books for You, which is a publishing arm. And we publish free of charge for our students, ebooks, articles, case studies, white papers, and so on. So the point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, I'm stopping my share. In the middle, we train people to be magnificent coaches. And then we provide, like a buffet all around, a huge amount of services, initiatives, and products to help them build, grow, expand, and develop a very successful, and here's the word, financially rewarding coaching practice. So we train them and then we look after them and take care of them forever. So before I now move on to coaching, any questions on anything I've covered there? Anything at all? Any?
I believe I saw someone raise their hand. I would like to ask if you had any question. Damir? No, changed his mind, disappeared. All right,
Okay.
we're ready to move on.
And you are allowed to change your mind. That's definitely.
Is it? Okay. I think Gerard disappeared. Is it just me or? I think he's here, but lost his.
He did.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind. He doesn't want to answer any more questions.
It was enough.
No,
Welcome back.
One of these glitches. It's the joy, isn't it, of living in this internet-based world. There's pros and cons. And I think the pros outweigh the cons. Here we are. We're from over a dozen countries coming together, having a coffee together online in a way that we would never have normally been able to do. And if there's the odd little internet glitch, in the great scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. So what I'd like to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is now get into what I call the meat of coaching. And I'm going to show you a PowerPoint, and I'm also going to use my whiteboard. And if you can see me, I've got this digital pen, and I have a couple of different screens. I have a screen with the camera on it, so when I'm looking at you, and I have another screen over here that I will be writing on. So when I look away, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just writing on my screen. So let's start, and I'll share my screen yet again. Here we go. And again, I'm hoping that you can now see my PowerPoint. Yeah, I've got the thumbs up from Reem. That's wonderful. Okay. So first of all, I'm now going to talk about coaching, what it is, what it does, how it differs from everything else. So first of all, there we are. Our company is Noble Manhattan Coaching, third biggest in the world out of 900. Welcome. We were established in 93. We started training coaches. We've trained over 25,000. And in fact, now we're in over 30 countries around the world. And there's about 400 people work within the organization. So there we go. So now let's come to the foundations of coaching, what I call the fundamentals, the pillars. The first one is a bit strange. Before COVID, before this pandemic, something like 90% of all coaching was being delivered at a distance using Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, Microsoft Teams, all of that sort of program, and telephone. 90%. Since COVID has come along, that has risen to literally 99%. I think the figure is 98.8, so we'll say 99. Now, I love this. I love it so much because it means that you and I, as coaches, we can do something that most people in the world never, ever get the chance to do. We can live where we want, not where we have to. Most people in life live where their work is. In fact, the truth is, people will move from one city to another for a different job. In coaching, it's different. You can live where you want to live and build an international business. Now, as well as running Noble Manhattan Coaching, I am also a personal coach. I am actually talking to you today from my home. And I live, I'll just rename, it's come up with company name. I'm actually talking to you today from my home office. I live in a small town just outside a town called Weymouth in Dorset on the south coast of England. It's very beautiful. I'm close to the beach, but it's a very small town. And if I needed to rely on Weymouth, where I live, to provide all of my coaching clients for the rest of my life, I think it would be very difficult. Right now, I have a lady who's a coaching client called Celia. She is in La Jolla, near San Diego. She worked for a pharmaceutical company called Amgen, one of their senior managers. I have a lady called Gosia in Gdansk, in the north of Poland. She worked for a huge IT company called Altazar. Now, I've never met Gosia. We meet on Zoom, so it's almost as if we've met, but I've never physically met her. I have a gentleman called Wodek in Łódź in Poland. I have a gentleman in Singapore. These are all clients that I manage to coach using Zoom on a regular basis, and we've never met. But it means that I can build an international business from my home. And I think that is such a wonderful benefit, such a wonderful benefit. So you can live where you want to live, not where you have to live. Does anyone understand the difference between that? It's a big, big difference. Where you want to, not where you have to. So if you wanted to live in a beautiful little village somewhere on the south coast of Spain or in the north of the Scottish Highlands, you could, and still build a magnificent worldwide coaching business. Oh, by the way, at any point, feel free to ask a question. I'm here for you. The meeting is for you. I want you to get as much benefit out of this as possible. Now we come on to coaching, and I talk about the 3 pillars. The first pillar of coaching is that coaches are non-judgmental. Non-judgmental. What does that mean? It means that to a good coach, it should not matter one tiny little bit who your client is. It should not matter if your client is young or old, rich or poor, male or female. It should not matter the color of their skin. It should not matter their belief system or religion. To a good coach, it should not matter one bit about your client. You should be non-judgmental. Now, having said that, the truth is we are all judgmental. You and I, we grew up in a family and we got influenced. We went to school, we got influenced. Today you watch certain television programs, you get influenced. Today you hang around with certain friends who influence you. So actually, you and I have got a huge bulk of judgment sitting on our shoulders. And when you become a coach, one of the things you learn is how to take your judgments, like this jacket I'm wearing, take it off and put them to one side, so that during the coaching session, you are completely clear of judgments. And when you are finished coaching, if you really want to, you can take your judgments and put them all back on again. But something weird happens, something very, very strange happens. The more you do it, the more you become it. And the more you practice being non-judgmental, the more as a human being you become more compassionate, more loving, more accepting. And you know what? I think that's a good thing. But guess what? That's my judgment. So even that is a judgment. So it's difficult to get away from this. Difficult to get away from this. How can I put this? Before the whole COVID thing, I used to travel an awful lot, travel to over 65 countries, and I traveled to meet all of our wonderful teams and students all over the world. And people ask questions, of course. And one question that people ask quite a lot is, what is it you need to be a great coach? And there are 2 answers. There is the official answer, and there is the truth. The official answer is, well, you need so many skills and techniques and knowledge. You need to be an expert in questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, belief, self-esteem, goal planning, goal setting, dealing with abundance, dealing with adversity. There's about 30 or 40 topics you need to be an expert in. Well, that's the official answer. The truth is, you need one thing, just one. You need to really love working with people. That's it. You need to really love people. And if you really love people, we can teach you the stuff. We can teach you questioning skills, listening skills, values, belief, ethics, self-esteem. We can teach you it all. But we can't teach you to love people. Does that make sense to everyone? Maybe you could give me a nod or a thumbs up so I don't think I'm all sitting here on my own. So yeah, we can't teach you to love people. So if you don't really love people, please don't be a coach. Go and be a lawyer instead or something, you know. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. Reem, we might have to cut that little bit out of the recording. So I hope we have no lawyers here. Please forgive me. So what I really mean is you need to have within you, deep in your heart, the willingness to learn how to be non-judgmental. If you have that willingness, we can teach you. If not, it's going to be a challenge. So you need to really love people. Number 2, non-judgmental. Professional coaches are non-directional. What does that mean? Well, it means that there are certain words a coach would never use. Words like must, have to, ought to, and should. There are no shoulds in coaching. We do not point fingers. We don't tell people what to do. Now, is there anything wrong in being directional? Well, no, not really. It depends on the situation. Imagine we were here together in a hotel, like we used to do in the past, and we're all in a conference room and I'm standing and I'm giving you a lecture. And imagine the fire alarm bells went off. And Reem stood up and she said, "Hi, everyone. I want you to listen to me. I want you to do exactly what I tell you to the letter, and I will lead you out of here safely." If that happened, I would be right behind her. I would not want to call a meeting to discuss it. Does everyone understand that? So there are times in life it is appropriate to be directional. But coaching is not directional. We do not order people or tell people what to do. The non-directional. Again, this can be a challenge if you've come from certain industries, like management consultancy, where you're used to giving direct orders and stuff, but nevertheless. Now we come to the final pillar of coaching. But it is not the final pillar. It is the number 1, the numero uno. It is the top, and everything else flows from this. And it is the fact that coaches have no answer. Coaches have no answer. Now, this comes from something that Einstein said in the 1930s. And I'll try and remember. I never read from notes, so let me see if I can remember. What did he say? He said, in order to solve the problems that we currently face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problem. Let me say that again. In order to solve the problems that we face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problem. Now, there are 2 messages within Einstein's statement. The first message, between you and me, I think is quite depressing. I think it's quite negative. The first message he's saying, he says, whatever you and I are experiencing, we have created it. Now, in coaching, we use a phrase, we use the word manifest. We say we manifest or we create our own reality. So can I just check with you all? Are you all okay with me saying that? Are you all okay with me? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. But the truth is that's a bit depressing, because if you are experiencing something bad in your life, something that is causing you to be very upset, you don't really want someone coming up to you and saying, well, you did this yourself, you caused it. You know, you want someone to show you love and compassion and give you a hug and so on. But is he right? Yeah, unfortunately he is. Einstein is right. We do create our own reality. Now, how do we do that? Well, we do it in many ways. Now, today, I don't want to scare you all away, and I don't want to talk about quantum physics, even though that is very relevant. I don't want to talk about the power of thought and vibration and frequency, although that is very relevant. I don't want to talk about holographic universes. I don't want to talk about electromagnetism, although that is very relevant. We'll teach you all that on the course. I'll give you one simple example. Decisions. Our life, my life, your life, is created by the thousands and thousands of decisions we make on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. That decision to have that alcoholic drink or not. That decision to have that cigarette or not. That decision to get up early or lie in bed. That decision to spend 3 hours watching television or go for a walk in the fresh air. That decision to have a relationship with the same type of person yet again. That decision when you're feeling hungry and you're walking through the middle of your city and you go left into McDonald's, or you turn right into something healthy like I can't think. Isn't it a sad reflection of our world? I cannot think of a worldwide name that I would class as healthy, but I think you all know what I mean. So you turn right into a salad bar or a juice bar or something like that. These are the decisions we make all the time, and they create our life. Now, I love that. I love it to bits, because it means you and I, we are in charge. We are in control. You and I can start to make different decisions right now, and we will immediately experience different outcomes and results. There's an old wonderful saying, I don't know where it came from, it's been around 100 years. It's, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I love that, because it means you and I are in the driving seat. So that was the first message within Einstein's statement. Let's look at his second message. How do I explain this? Here we are, there's nearly 30 of us here online. We're from multiple countries. Most of you I have never met in my life. Maybe we will meet in the future, maybe we will not. Who knows? Who knows where life goes? So I don't know you, but I know an awful lot about you. Number one, I know that you are human beings, and as human beings, you have within you the most incredible power. You have a strength, you have a magnificence in you that is absolutely shocking. If you could only come to a true understanding of how strong, how powerful, and how magnificent you are, you would be shocked to the core, but in a nice way. You have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. And I'm using that phrase very deliberately. You have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. You have an ability that you have almost no idea. You have an unlimited ability. And that is as a human being. But you are more than that. You are also a spiritual being. And as a spiritual being, you have within you an omnipower and an omnipresence. Why do I say that? I say that because you have the ability to access any resource you should ever need to help you to deal with any challenge or problem that life is throwing at you. Not only that, you have access to every resource you could ever need to help you to set and achieve any goal in life that you want. This I know with a deep and profound sense of knowing. The problem is no one ever sits us down when we are tiny children and shows us or tells us about the power within us, shows us how to access that power and how to direct it outwards. You know, and the normal schooling system all over the world is not designed to do that. So many of us go through the whole of our lives not realizing how incredible and how magnificent we are. And that's a great shame. Coaches, the job of a coach is to help the client reach deep down inside themselves and come up with an answer that is true and appropriate for them, not for the coach, but for the client. If you're interested in the technical word, the word for the type of coaching we do is ontological coaching. And the word ontological means answer lies within. So not without, within. And that's the job of a coach. So how does a coach do that? Well, today, I don't have time to show you everything. Let me get a book from my bookshelf. Here's just one book. There's so many. This is an interesting one called The Toolful Coach by Laura, one of our colleagues in Budapest in Hungary. She's written this book. And you might or might not be able to see, the light is shining here, but it says 150 coaching tools. There are right now well over 150 completely separate coaching models, coaching tools, coaching methods, etc. Some are very general and some are very specific. Like a surgeon would use a very specific tool for a delicate operation. Some of these are designed for health coaching, wealth coaching, relationship, career, goal planning, like very specific. And then some are more general. Let me just show you a couple. I'll use my whiteboard. And forgive me for looking away from you. I'm looking at my other screen. So we have one very, very typical one that's been around for a long time called the Wheel of Life. Some of you will be familiar with this. It's a very simple one. Well, when we work with a client, we divide their life into many different sectors or sections. So we have health, career, money. Oh, by the way, money is not the same as career. A lot of people make the mistake of joining the two together and linking them. They are very separate. Then, of course, the people you love, very close to you in your life. Then your physical body and how is that and what needs to be helped and improved there. Then your intellect, what is your knowledge? What do you know? What are you learning? What are you studying? Then, of course, a very important part of people's lives, fun, community, socializing, etc. That's an important part of people's lives. And then my favorite, I guess, spiritual, and so on. Now, there's many more. I'm just showing 8 here. In reality, there are many, many more. I just want to give you the feel for it. A good coach would work with their clients, helping them, first of all, to get rid of challenges, blockages, and obstacles in each of these areas, and then helping them to set and achieve goals in each of these areas. But, and it's a big but, doing it in a balanced and a holistic way. Because, and this is my judgment, so forgive me, there's no point in helping someone become a multimillionaire if they have a heart attack and they die on the way. There's no point in helping someone becoming a multimillionaire if they lose absolutely everything that they love in their life. Now that's my judgments coming into this, but I'm saying it to help to make a point. So we do it in a balanced and a holistic way. So that's just one model. There's another very well-known one that's been around for quite a while called the TGROW, the T-GROW model. So when you're working with a client, you'd start with the topic. What is the area that we're going to work on? Is it to do with health, wealth, relationship, career, time management, work-life balance, getting promotion? Is it to do with parenting? There's countless subjects. Then we work with that lady or gentleman, helping them to set a clear and specific goal. Having done that, we then become like a detective and we investigate the reality. So what is going on? What is going on in their life right now that makes them feel they either have to deal with this issue or challenge, or it could be positive, set and achieve this particular goal? And we become like a detective, delving deep and digging deep to see what the belief systems are, what the motivations are, what we use the word drivers are sitting in the background. Then we come to the O, which is options. We then work with that man or woman, helping them to come up with a whole scenario of methods, possibilities, options that we could look at working on to achieve this particular goal. And then finally, the W stands for the way forward. In simple terms, we create an action plan. I'm just sharing this with you. It's easy to say, in reality, we would take quite a long time delving into each of these with each of our clients using very, very sophisticated coaching, questioning techniques. These are just two of countless models, systems, and tools that a good coach would have in their armory, So let me, for a moment, just stop the share and see if anyone has any questions or anything they would like me to go over in a bit more detail. Anything at all? No, fine. By the way, it's okay. I take rejection very well. It's okay. Okay. Okay, so now I'll just take you back to my PowerPoint a little bit.
Gerard, if I may, there
Yes,
is a question that always used to pop up by many of the people that would contact and ask us about the coaching training, and they would say, oh, I can find these tools online anywhere. Why do I need to do a certificate, or why do I need to do an official accreditation? What would be your reply on that? Many people come and say, oh, I can find these tools, the T-GROW, the wheel, anywhere online.
Okay, you can, and you could buy a book like I've just shown you. But reading a book, reading a chapter or so on a model, downloading it as a PDF is nothing like being taught a model, demonstrating it, divided into groups, practicing with observation, with feedback, with role play sessions, with dealing with countless client scenarios, and I'm going to come to this in a few minutes, coming up to the appropriate standard. And by the way, I better say it now, not everyone is up to our standard. Noble Manhattan, we are in the top 3 in the world in coach training companies, but we probably have the highest standards. We are the green berets of the coaching world. We are the elite. And I say that absolutely honestly. We are the elite. And there's a simple truth in life. Not everyone can become one of the elite. That's a simple truth. All right. So not everyone is good enough. So let me just share again. I'll take you through, and I'll come to that in more depth, Reem, in a second. I'll talk about standards. I'm sharing my screen again. Here's a definition of coaching. Coaching is about performing at your best through the individual and private assistance of someone who will challenge, stimulate, and guide you to keep growing. Now, think for a moment. In the world of sport, in the world of Olympics, every country in the world puts forward a team of people, men and women, to compete in the worldwide Olympics. And these are the top men and women in their country, in running and jumping and athletics and tennis and boxing and you name it, all of these wonderful different sports. These are the elite. What do they all have in common? Every single one of these magnificent men and women have a coach. Why do they have a coach? Because it has been proven time and time again over generations that no matter how good you are, a coach can help you to be better. No matter how strong you are, no matter how fast you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how great you are, a good coach will help you to become even greater. So they help you to reach heights that you never would on your own. This is what a life coach does with their clients, helping them to reach heights and goals in many aspects of their life that they would never have dreamed of being able to achieve on their own. So, but you asked an interesting question. So let me talk about accreditation and standards. And I'm going to come back to this slide. First of all, I'm going to use my whiteboard, going to do a little graph and drawing for you, and then I'll come back and then I'll show you some websites. This world of coaching, even some of the very experienced coaches within this industry have no idea about the shape of the industry. So let me show you. So first of all, we have at the bottom coaches. How many? How many coaches do you think there might be in the whole world? I would love if some of you would unmute yourself and just give me a number. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Please talk to me. I'm lonely here in my little office, surrounded by my books, which are some of my best friends.
I would say 10,000.
10,000. 10,000 on my right. Any advance on 10,000 coaches worldwide?
50,000.
50,000. 50,000. How do auctioneers are very good at this, aren't they? They use the language. Any advance on 50,000? It's higher, by the way. So come on, give me a higher figure.
1 million.
1 million. 1 million. Okay, it's below 1 million. So, as best as we can judge, it's about 300,000. Now, let's look at that. Let's put it in perspective. In the United Kingdom, Great Britain, there are right now registered therapists, not coaches, there are 400,000 registered therapists. We know this because they have to be registered on a national registry. So 400,000 therapists just in the United Kingdom. In America, in the USA, there are 1.2 million registered therapists. So I'm just using that as a comparison. In the whole world, there are about 300,000 coaches. So in actual fact, it's not a lot. And we have a strange situation that right now, there are not enough coaches to fulfill many of the contracts and requirements, especially in the corporate world. Companies looking for coaches for their executives, their managers. Team coaching is growing really big right now. It's a big thing. There's not enough to fulfill it. But here we go. At the bottom, coaches. Above coaches, we have training companies. Noble Manhattan, our company, we are one of the training companies. There is approximately 900. Above that, there are membership organizations. There's about 50. Now, if you have been involved in coaching at all, some of these names you will know. One is called the ICF. They're an American, well, they're worldwide, but came out of America. They're very big. One is the AOC, Association of Coaching. One is the EMCC, European Mentoring and Coaching Council. These are all, this is an important point, ladies and gentlemen, these are privately owned membership organizations, not mandated by any government authority or education department. And they're very good. You pay some money and you get regular newsletters, you get the Zoom meetings, you get to log in to their resource area, and they're very good. Then above those, you have official accreditation bodies. About nine. One is Stanford University. Anyone heard of Stanford? Some of you have, some of you not. Yeah, in America. One is the IAPC&M, International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. They're worldwide. One is the ILM, Institute for Leadership and Management. These have been authorized by governments, and they are able to offer a government-backed accreditation and qualification. And then above those, at the top of the tree, you have the IRCM. It stands for International Regulator for Coaching and Mentoring. So what's the difference between all of these? Okay, so this and this and these, they all charge money for their services. They're commercial operations. You either pay an annual membership fee or a training fee and so on. So all of these have a duty of loyalty to their members. I guess that makes sense. These people do not. First of all, the cost is zero. And their loyalty is to the public, the people who buy coaching. Do you understand the difference? Their loyalty, their duty of care is to the people who buy coaching, i.e. the clients, the coachees. Whereas these people, their duty of care, their loyalty is to their members who technically are coaches. So these people are there to look after the clients. And in the United Kingdom and in other companies, they fill the role, I don't know if you've ever heard this word, the role of the ombudsman. And in every industry, you have an ombudsman. These are the people you can go to complain if you feel you've been treated badly or whatever. So it's a wonderful organization. In terms of websites, let me show you. Here is the IAPC&M, International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. They're an official accreditation body. Here is the ILM. This is the ICF that I mentioned, a nice big membership organization. And here is the International Regulator for Coaching and Mentoring. Okay. So what's the difference between training, and I need to draw a line. Draw a line between training and above. When you train, and let's say you go to a university, you do a course, you walk out with a certificate of some kind. What is that? That is a Q, qualification. You have a qualification. So let's say you go to university and you become qualified as an architect or an accountant. Almost every country then has a national association of architects or a national association of accountants. That is who these people are. And you go to those people to get an accreditation. So you go to university, you do 3 years, you become qualified as an accountant. You have a qualification, but you've not done any accounting yet. You then go to the National Association of Accountants or the Institute, and you join your Institute of Accountants, and now you're a member of the Institute and you are accredited. So you have a qualification, you have an accreditation. It's the same in the coaching industry. You go to a training company and you get trained, you receive a coaching qualification, and then you go to one of the 9 worldwide accreditation bodies and you receive an independent accreditation. So they are acknowledging your ability, your qualification, your skill, and your position. Does that make sense? Like, the point I want to get across is the difference between training to get a qualification and then an independent accreditation. Everyone fairly okay with that? Okay. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is talk to you a little bit about training to be a coach. Now, we have with us here today some people who are already coaches, so forgive me. I'll be telling you what you already know. You can go and make a nice cup of coffee at this point and relax. But I just want to cover our training program, so you're aware. Now, we actually have about a dozen training programs. Everything from a 1-day introduction right up to a PhD in coaching in partnership with Canterbury University, one of the Ivy League universities. But our main course is called a PCD, Practitioner Coach Diploma. And already there's a significance in the name. The D stands for diploma. 98% of all coach training in the world are certificates, not diplomas. In the world of education, if you can look at me on camera, you have certificate. Above certificate, you have diploma. And above diploma, you have a degree at a university. So ours is not as high as a degree, but it is significantly higher than a certificate. It's a diploma. We are accredited by 5 external accreditation bodies. We're accredited by the ILM, by the IAPCNM, by the City and Guilds. We're accredited by the IRCM, the regulator, one of only 9 in the world. They've only accredited 9 companies out of 900. We're one of those. And we're acknowledged by the ICF as well, and recognized and endorsed by them. Our practitioner coach diploma is about 400 hours of training. We design it so that it is suitable for someone who is working full-time or a mother or father looking after a family full-time. The average person will do 5 hours a week, 6 hours a week, 8 hours a week. The average person takes between 8 and 12 months to do the program. So it's very flexible. People can go quicker if they want to go crazy and do it very quickly, or people can spread it out. And this happens when people have a baby, they move house, they move country, they move job. So you can take 12 months, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You can take time You can pause it and come back to it, you know, if you have a baby or something like that, that's very normal. But the average person, 8 to 12 months, and they can do a lot of it in their own time. When people join, we treat them as an individual. And everyone, the minute you join, we send you by private courier, no matter where you are in the world. We send you all of the material. So the course book, the manuals, the handbooks, the logs, and everything. There is no need for you to acquire anything else. We provide everything. There is a certain amount of research and writing. All students will submit 5 essays. Now, to give you an example, if I get a sheet of paper here. The average sheet of A4 paper has 500 words. The average essay is 1,000 words, so 2 sheets. So to put that into perspective, so not War and Peace, so no need to panic, right? So there's a certain amount of research, certain amount of written work to be submitted. Every student gets given their own private tutor. These are all senior coaches. We call them mentors. And those men and women work with our students on a one-to-one private basis for many, many months. Just you and them. And they will be both guide, trainer, teacher, and client. And you will coach them every time you meet them on Zoom. And they will give you guidance and critique and feedback. And it's like having a driving instructor. If you all remember, if you've ever done that, you would work with a driving instructor for many, many, many lessons, many months. And when they feel you are ready, they put you forward for your test. It's the same here. When you finish with your mentor, you get put forward for final assessment. And that's with a master coach. All of our senior coaches have over 500 hours of documented coaching under their belt. All of our master coaches have over 2,000 hours of documented coaching under their belt. So there's research, there's written work, there's private tutoring, there's final assessing. Then we have webinars. There are webinar lectures that take place every month, many times throughout the month, in multiple languages, so 8 separate languages. And every month we deliver lectures on Zoom, usually in the evening in multiple countries, about 7 o'clock at night. And we cover topics like questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, beliefs, self-esteem, 30 plus subjects. These are live. You can interact with your lecturer, you can interact with the other students, and so on. And these happen every couple of weeks. If you cannot make it because you're looking after your children or working late at work, no, don't worry. We record every one of them. And we make them available to you on our learning management system. We have an incredibly sophisticated, detailed online learning management system. And because we've been doing this now for 20 years, and we have recorded every lecture we have ever done, we have literally thousands of hours of recorded lectures. And you can access every one of those the minute you register as a student. Not only that, we will then set you up in study buddy groups of 5 students, you and 4 others, and you meet together every week for about 30 minutes. You can decide the time, in the evening or Saturday morning or Sunday, You decide. We've got so many happening. And you meet together and you act as a support group for each other. You coach each other. You share your written work and so on. So all of that makes up only a part of the course. Then we have our physical get-togethers, and we have 9 days. We have what we used to call a residential, I will explain, which is 4 days together. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Not always, but usually. 9 o'clock till 5 p.m., 4 days. And then 5 one-days each month. So, and that's wherever you live. We're doing these in your location all over the world. We're doing them from Beirut to Sofia, to Montreal, to Brisbane, Australia, to you name it, all over. The 4 days, up before COVID, we used to do this physically. And we have many training locations all over the world. And people would come together. And we are the only company that actually pay for all of your food, all of your accommodation. That's all covered. You never have to worry about any of that. And then in your own location, for 5 months, there's 1 day masterclass each month. So a total of 9 intensive classroom days. Now with COVID as part of our reality, we are delivering all of this on Zoom. And again, we're doing it in multiple languages. And the benefit is people can do it from home. They don't have to leave their family. So there's pros and cons of each. So let me show you on my PowerPoint. Okay. So it's a very flexible blended learning system. And what do I mean by that? You and I are all different. We learn in different ways. In NLP, they talk about modalities. They talk about visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. I'm very visual. You can see I like to draw. I move my hands a lot. I'm a very visual person, so I learn visually. Some people learn auditory. They like to listen. Others are kinesthetic. They like to put the feel and touch and build and so. We deliver our training in all 3 modalities. So whatever your dominant learning style, it will be appropriate. There's a certain amount of reading and research, which is what I've said, home study, webinar training, one-to-one mentoring, everything you need. In the training manual and modules, we cover multiple topics such as communication skills, listening skills, questioning skills, building rapport, values, beliefs, self-esteem, and so on. Training manuals on all of these topics. When you join, we send you by private courier. Wherever you are in the world, you will get it within about 48 hours, a big box with all the course books, manuals, handbooks, materials, everything you need. Then there's home study, written work, and so on. At the bottom in red, it says live webinars. When you finish our course and you qualify and you get your diploma, that's not the end. We will continue to look after you for the rest of your life as a coach, and the cost is 0. We allow you to carry on accessing our monthly webinars forever, free of charge. We allow you to carry on accessing our online library and resources free of charge forever. That is our commitment to help you on the road to mastery. We will set you up in study buddy groups, like I mentioned, and you will conduct at least 60 hours of coaching on the course. Most people do more because they love the one-to-one personal coaching. Most students do 60, 70, 80, 90 hours, but you will do minimum 60. And we have physical meetings wherever you live, pretty much every city that's represented here, all around the world. We have physical regional support groups that meet once every month, a place for you to come and meet our leaders and meet other coaches and drink lots of coffee. There's lots of coffee drunk at these things. So, and then we have the 4-day experiential. Here's another thing. We do that in groups of about 20, 25 with 8 staff, 8. Most coach training companies, if they were training 20 people in a classroom, they would have 1 trainer. We have 8, a huge proportion, so that everyone gets an enormous amount of one-to-one tuition and feedback. So I've covered all that. I'm going to show you some of the training centers we have all around the world. We're not using them at the moment because of COVID, but maybe when COVID finishes, we'll go back. This is in England, near a place called Oxford. This is our training center, just a small little place. This is in Predal in Romania. This is in Sofia, the Jasmine Hotel, just halfway up the mountain, looking out over the beautiful city of Sofia. Serot, just outside Warsaw in Poland. This is always a popular one. This is Antalya in the south of Turkey. People always like coming here. It's got 4 swimming pools and saunas and hammams and all part of the package. All no extra money. It's all part of it thrown in. Here's one that people like. This is in West Palm Beach in Florida. So another lovely one. So we always pick somewhere that is rather lovely, never in the middle of a town, somewhere outside with a lovely atmosphere. Now, this is very important. The question on most people's minds is bound to be, what is the investment? What is the cost of all of this? Right. So, if you have done any investigation, and I would urge you, I would beg you, please look around, look at what some of the other coach training companies are charging. In the world of coaching, they talk about the Premier League. There's about 6 companies in the Premier League. We are Noble Manhattan. There's Ericsson Coaching, they're very good. There's CTI Coaching. There's the Fielding Institute, Georgetown University, Stanford University. These are in the Premier League. Most of those are charging $10,000, $11,000, $13,000 for their course. We don't charge anything like that. Now, because we are delivering this training in many different countries, from Switzerland to Canada to South Africa to Romania, the cost of delivering the course is different because the cost of trainers, residentials, accommodation, and so on. So the amount varies. The amount it costs to do the course is a little bit slightly different in each country. So whoever invited you to come to this event, just contact them and they will tell you immediately what it is in that particular country. But I want to share 2 very, very important points with you. And I keep saying this, and I'm proud of saying this. We are the only coach training company in the world to do this. Look at the bottom where it says APL and bursary. We are the only company to give a bursary to every single student. A bursary is a scholarship. Every one of you will get a scholarship. What is a scholarship? A scholarship is money we give you. You never have to pay it back. It's not a loan. And we give you a form to fill out. It's very confidential. And you tell us what's going on in your life and how things are financially. And if you are a senior executive on a very good salary, you might get $100. If you're a single mother looking after children on your own, you might get $1,000 or $2,000 bursary. This is money we give you. You never have to pay it back. The other is APL. Every good university in the world gives APL. APL stands for Accreditation for Prior Learning. What does that mean? What does it mean? It means we do not think that it is right and morally ethical to charge you money for something you already know. So we send you a Word document and it breaks our course down into all of the modular parts. And it gives a detailed description of the learning outcome of each part and the cost of each part. And you then fill in, what have you done? And the word is equivalent. What have you done that's equivalent? And how can you evidence that? Do you have a certificate you can scan and send to us? Do you have a manager at work that will give a testimonial about your job role? And there are many things. If you are a HR manager, you will get exemptions. If you have done are a professional trainer, if you have done NLP, if you have done counseling or therapy, oh, there's many, you will absolutely get exemptions from part of the course. And that also reduces the cost of the course. So not only do we charge far less than everyone else, but yet our course is far bigger. You will also get a scholarship. Everyone gets that. And many people, not everyone, but many people also get APL or exemptions. You are able to ask, what would you get, without committing to anything. So you're able to say, okay, what exemptions would I get? What scholarship would I get? Let me know. And you're able to ask that before you make any decision about moving forward. And we think that's a very honest and fair way of treating people. Very honest and fair. Right, before I move on to the next bit and talk to you about how much coaches earn and so on, please, let me stop the share. So any questions on anything we've covered at all, please? No, no one cares.
We all care.
I understand. I understand. It's okay.
There are a few
I have a
questions.
question. Sorry.
Yes, Nicholas has a question. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Nicholas.
My question is about the fundamentals of coaching. What I would like to understand is very interesting for me when you from the side of the coaching, because I think I understand very well, and thank you very much. You explained it very well about the coaching. And you said also at the beginning the fundamentals, not directional, no answers. How is this for the customer? Because the customer is hiring you and expect some answers. How is working this with the customer?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm glad you asked it. Yes, sometimes people will come to coaching thinking and believing that the coach will give them their answers. So what we do, whenever a coach engages with a client to begin with, at the very beginning of every relationship, we have, and we teach you how to do this, we have what we call an induction session. And during the induction session, you will be explaining to the client the concept of coaching, how it works, what your responsibilities will be, what their responsibilities will be, and so on. So we cover this right at the beginning so that they are aware and they are not under any false premise or false beliefs. But that you are so right. It happens a lot, happens an awful lot. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do now, ladies and gentlemen, if it's okay, I'll coming to the end. I'll share with you a little bit about if I get my whiteboard again, and I'll share. I want to talk to you about incomes, give you some examples from different parts of the world. How much does a coach earn? And then I'm going to scare you all away. I'm going to talk about spiritual coaching, and then we'll finish. So 10 or 15 minutes. So, okay. These are figures that I'm about to give you from the PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, most recent survey. And I can't remember if I told you at the beginning, I can't remember. Did you know that right now today, coaching is the second fastest growing industry in the world. Second fastest. And not just this year, it has been the second fastest for the last 3 years in a row. So even before the pandemic. Now, does anyone want to guess what the #1 fastest growing industry is? Anyone?
Technology.
Technology, yes, it is. You're right. It's IT. Both hardware and software, if we join the two together, they are rising like a volcano all over the world. They're booming. So IT is #1. Coaching is #2. So a new coach straight out of training. So let me see if I can get my pen to work. So here we go. So a new coach straight out of training, if they are doing life coaching with their client, oh, by the way, the course I just showed you, the PCD, Practitioner Coach Diploma, it qualifies you to be an international life and executive coach and team coach, life coach and executive coach. It's qualifies you for both. Right. So the average life coaching session is about 60 minutes, roughly. It varies different parts of the world, but this is about average. And a newly qualified coach, this is what we find that they would charge their clients. Now, it's in different parts of the world. So in the United Kingdom and in Western Europe, it would be, and I'm going to use about £75. In America, it would be about $100 US. In Romania, it would be about, oh, I'm sorry, that should be euros, should look like a euro, 45 euros. Because again, the GDP, the income is different in different parts of the world. Now, this is for a new, freshly trained coach out of training. When a coach has been doing it about a year, we find something happens. Their confidence rises and their competence rises. They're getting better, they're feeling good, and they're getting testimonials, they're getting referrals from clients. And we find at about the 1 year point, they put their prices up. And in the UK, they put them up to about £100 per session. In America, it's about $140. And in Romania, Bulgaria, it would be in euros up to about 70 euros per session. This is after 10 or 12 months of experience. We then have a completely separate group called the executive coaches. Now, before I go on, I have a question to ask. Which country in the world today do you think has the highest paid coaches in the world?
United States.
Okay, United States on my left. Anything else?
Yeah, I think it's United States.
Okay, it's not. Okay, I'll help you. It's Germany. Germany. And right now, now it varies. 2 years ago, it was Japan, so it varies. But right now, it's Germany, and Switzerland as well. But Germany, in Germany, coaches are charging approximately €1,000 per what? €1,000 per
hour.
Correct, Georgie, per hour, not per day, per hour. All right. Now we come to a group of people called executive coaches, and they charge between £150 and £1,000 per session. The people down here would be the newly qualified executive coaches, just learning, just finished training, building their career. These people here at the 1,000, they would be the master coaches who are knowledgeable, they have a track record, they have experience, existing clients, they're getting testimonials, referrals and so on. So executive coaching would be between here. So from the newly qualified up to the very, very experienced. The course we told you about qualifies you to be both life and executive coach. Who trains? Who trains? Who trains? Well, we find for life coaches, it's about 65% women and 35% men. For executive coaches, it's about 50-50. And by the way, in my experience, the women make better executive coaches than the men. So anyway, that's me being judgmental. I shouldn't say that. We'll have to delete that from the recording. So, okay. Right. I think it's because they are more empathetic. So let me finish off by talking a little bit about spiritual coaching. And I call it spiritual. It's not spiritual coaching, but it's a way of looking at it. It's how coaches help people in the world today. And this resonates very much with me. First of all, self-awareness. Who am I? What are my good points? What are my bad points? What turns me on? What turns me off? There was a word written above a door in ancient Greece 3,500 years ago. The word was Gnosti, K-N-O-S-T-I. And in ancient Greek, it means know thyself. Know thyself. And ladies and gentlemen, what was important for you and I 3,500 years ago was important 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, today, and always will. Know thyself. And this is what coaches do with their clients. They help clients to look deep within themselves and become accepting of the person they discover. You've often heard the saying, people travel, they do this because they want to find themselves. Have you ever heard that expression? People are trying to find themselves. Coaches, this is what coaches do. Number two, being vision and value led. Spiritually intelligent people usually want to serve something bigger than themselves. They have a vision. You know, let me give you two very different examples. Bill Gates, Mother Teresa. Now, when he ran Microsoft, Bill Gates had a vision of helping everyone in the world to have a computer on their desk. Mother Teresa had a vision of feeding starving children in Calcutta. Two completely different visions, but both, you know, good visions. Coaching helps people to have a completely different vision of themselves, who they are, what they can achieve, what they can see, what they can do, and what they can leave as a legacy. Next, the capacity to face adversity, to use it constructively, to own my weakness, to learn from my mistakes. The word here is guilt. We all do it. We all experience guilt at different times in our life. Some people, it takes over their life, it wrecks their life. Guilt becomes invasive, it's everything they do. Well, coaching helps people to understand that guilt has a purpose. It's there to teach us so that we learn from the past, we take from the past so that we can invest that knowledge in the future. What we shouldn't do is just keep reliving the past. And coaching helps us to deal with that, recognize it, and understand it. You know, and I have a phrase I say to my people, for me, the past is another country, and I don't live there anymore. And you know what? Do you know what? I am looking forward to the future so much. And do you know why? Because I'm going to be spending the rest of my life there. So it makes sense to look forward to it and to make it a compelling future. So this is what coaches do with their clients. Next, being holistic, seeing the connection between all human beings. If people only knew the connection between all humans, you could not think for 1 minute about hurting someone else. And yet, I don't know if you watch the news around the world, but right now we have groups of people all over this world trying to hurt other groups all over the world. We have a word for it in coaching. The word is there is a disconnect, a huge disconnect out there. Well, coaching helps us to be truly connected. First of all, connected to ourselves, and then connected to all other human beings. Very important, that. Next, the ability to refrain from things. We get caught up in so many things. We get pulled in so many directions. You know, we watch television and social media and we feel we should do this, we should do that, and we should set this goal and we should live up to this standard. And the pressures on people are amazing. The pressures on young men and women today and teenagers are amazing because of television, cinema, social networking, and it can be quite dangerous. And coaching helps us to refrain. There's a great coaching question. How does this serve me? How does it serve me? And sometimes the answer is not very well. So again, something coaching does for humanity and people. Next, harmlessness and compassion. The number one rule in coaching, numero uno, is do no harm. And the number two rule is have compassion for everyone. You know, there's an old saying, by the way, I don't think it's true. There's an old saying that if you get trapped in an elevator with a stranger for an hour, you will come out loving them. I don't know if that's actually true. I've met some strange people in elevators, but the concept, you know, the concept is when you truly understand what is going on in someone's life, you realize why they act like they do. You know, sometimes human beings, they say bad things. Sometimes they do bad things, you know. But you have no idea what's going on behind. They might have huge financial problems, huge monetary problems, big relationship problems. You never know what's going on in people's lives. And it's important to show compassion to everyone. Tolerance and the celebration of diversity. Coaching teaches us that the person who is different from me is our teacher, and that is to be celebrated. Field independence. Coaching gives us the courage, the strength of character, the principles, the values, and the courage to back it up, to stand up for what we believe in. The ability and willingness to ask questions, to understand and be concerned about the why of things. Now, you and I did this. Look at you, all of you ladies and gentlemen. When you were children, you constantly asked questions. So did I. We all did. And then we stopped. As we grew up, we came to a decision, subconsciously usually, that in life, it's easier to get along with people if we just go along. Just go along with things. And we stopped questioning. And coaching teaches us we should go back to questioning. We should question everything. We should become masters of the question. And finally, spontaneity, flexibility, freedom, passion. Passion is so important. To be, to know, to play, to be free. The quality of living in the moment and experiencing it. The past is the past. The future hasn't happened yet. This is why we call now the present, because it's a gift. It's a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's a present to us. And we don't always appreciate it. We're constantly thinking about the past or what we want in the future, not really appreciating where we are right at this very moment. And coaching teaches us all this. And don't worry, I'm getting near the end. I can see you're all getting bored. So just another 2 minutes. I'll finish off with this. I believe, and this is me, I'm not preaching, this is just how I feel. I'm not asking you to to buy into this, but I feel that people need attention. Why? In order to fulfill our deep-seated need for significance. As human beings, we all need significance and we want to feel significant. And it is okay to want to feel significant. And it's okay to want a little bit of attention on you sometimes. Number two, we need appreciation. Why? To fulfill our deep-seated need for worthiness. I'll give you a little example. Imagine you're at work and you do something, doesn't have to be big, something small, and a senior manager comes along and they say, "Did you do that?" And you say, "Oh, yes, I did." And they say, "Wow, wow, what a great job. I am so impressed. I am so pleased. Well done." And they walk away. How would you feel? How would you feel if that happened? Would you feel quite good? I bet you would. And if that happened at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m., you would feel good all day. It would make you feel good all day. And yet we live in a world, ladies and gentlemen, where we don't encourage each other to show appreciation for each other. And coaching teaches us. And finally, affection. Now, I don't mean this in a kooky, weird, physical way, but we all need affection. And what I really mean is not affection, it's love. But you will have noticed that if I use the word love, it throws out my AAA formula, so my AAA. So that's why I put affection. But this is what coaches do. When a coach is with a client, the coach shows that client total attention. We focus our attention 100% on that client. They are the most important person, not the coach. Number two, we show that person appreciation, and we show them appreciation in two ways. Number one, for who they are and everything they are, but also for everything they could be, for their ability to build and grow and expand and create, to be all that they could be. So we show them appreciation for who they are and their ability to achieve. And finally, we show them affection. And I don't mean that in a kooky way. I mean it in a real way. It is impossible, I tell you now, it is impossible to sit down with another human being and look them in the eye and show them total attention and show them total appreciation if you don't love people. Do you remember I said at the beginning, one of the things you needed was to really love people? You can't fake that. People can tell. People can tell if you're faking it. Yeah. And this is what we as coaches do. And this, I believe, is one of the many reasons why coaching is growing like a volcano all over the world right now. Anyway, I didn't really have anything more to say. There's so much more. I wish I could spend, 8 hours with you all, but you'd all be suicidal by then. But there's so much more I wish I could share with you, but in the time allotted, I'm just grateful that you've given me the time you have today. So are there any final questions? Oh, sorry, Diana has asked a question. How long does it take to achieve a stable and high income out of coaching? Okay, it depends how long, right? Most people who come to coaching, Diana, they would be still doing another job quite often. They do their training and then they're building their coaching up part-time. If you're doing that, it could take 6 to 10 months. If, however, you're doing it full-time, probably about 3 months. And we teach you all the methods, the techniques, Remember, I showed at the beginning, we have Coach Radio, which is available to you, Coach Finder, we have books for you, publishing, we have all of these initiatives to help you build your brand and your image. And we do a course. Again, this is free. We do a very intensive course called Build Your Coaching Practice. It's one whole day, 8 hours, very intense, and that's available to you as well. And we teach you everything you need to know to build your business. Okay, so
another question.
Yeah, Carol has said, following the PCD, does Noble Manhattan help new practitioners find clients? Absolutely, yes, we do. Diana, thank you for your kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, everything I showed you today, PowerPoint, my slides, my documents, we will send them to you by email as an attachment, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. Okay, any final questions? Oh, can I give you my email address? Let me put that into the chat, if I can. So gerard@noble-manhattan.com. I'm more than happy for any of you to email me. Reem, when we email people, can we include my email address so they've got that?
Yes, definitely we'll do that.
And everyone, I am on LinkedIn. That's also another good way to find me. There's very few people with my name, Gerard O'Donovan. You can find me and connect. And I always respond. If you send me a question on LinkedIn, I will always get back to you. So it's been an absolute joy. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. If you need anything, just email or LinkedIn or get in touch. So thank you all very much. Have a lovely
Thank you very much, Gerard.
afternoon or evening. So
Thank you, Gerard. Thank you
very much.
Take care. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. We'll be sending you all the details by email once we have logged out from here. Thank you very much, Gerard, for your kind time. We appreciate your information. You're getting a lot of comments, positive comments of thanks. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's masterclass, and we'll be sending you for even more masterclasses to come very soon. So keep posted, check your emails, and we'll be here for you. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.